We welcome you back into Feely Field here in Sudbury. We are about to get started with Milford's third game in this state tournament. Their opponent this evening, Newburyport, post 150. We just saw the full introductions for both teams, starting lineups, bench players, and coaches for both sides getting a chance to be introduced Major League Baseball style. We're down now to the final four teams in tournament play. Half the field has now been eliminated from what we saw when play began on Saturday. No teams will be eliminated after this game this evening, but the team who comes away victorious will be the final unbeaten team standing. And we are finally ready for baseball here in Sudbury. Milford and Newburyport set to go. Kevin Martinez out there on the pitcher's mound. He is getting ready to deal his first pitch into the leadoff hitter Tyler Chasen for Newburyport. Here it is, and it is a called strike one, and baseball is underway under the lights here at Feely Field. Kevin Martinez again making his third postseason start. Here is his 0-1 pitch, and this is a little bit high, and the count evens at 1-1. Martinez, the left-handed pitcher, facing the left-handed Tyler Chasen, deals strike two on the inside edge. One ball and two strikes the count. Martinez ready to go back into his windup. Here's the pitch, and it's on the inside corner, a called strike three. And a nice start to this one for Martinez. He collects the first strikeout of his outing. And it is also the 35th strikeout overall on Martinez's season. Keeps the leadoff man off base, and now here is Rosario Massetti, the starting second baseman for Newburyport. Back-to-back lefties in this lineup facing Kevin Martinez. And the first pitch a little too far inside for a ball. It was Andrew McMillan who was credited with the win in the start that Avery made in the final game of the Zone 4 playoffs. One ball and one strike the count now to Massetti. Kevin Martinez pitching 5 2/3 innings in that particular game. Here is his 1-1 pitch. It misses, it glances off the shin guard of Michael Ryan, and now a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Martinez against Wachusett in the Zone 4 finals, 8 strikeouts but 5 walks. So looking to keep the walk total a little bit more manageable here this evening. Here is the 2-1 pitch. It's in there for called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes now the count. Martinez a look in, he shakes off the first sign from Michael Ryan. Now back into his windup. Here is the pitch. And it bounces in the dirt, now a full count. A big plus for Milford is this is a very familiar battery between Kevin Martinez and Michael Ryan, two longtime high school teammates, continuing to play together here in Legion Ball. The 3-2 pitch on the way to Massetti, and this is lifted in the air out to right field, but Cam Cosette has time to range in and make the catch. 2 up and 2 down here in the top of the first inning. Kevin Martinez now in search of a 1-2-3 inning to quickly bring his offense to the plate. But first he must deal with the third baseman for Newburyport, Colton Fontaine. Right-handed bat now, the first one featured in the lineup, and Fontaine takes the first pitch low. 4-1. Colton Fontaine, listed at 5'8", 165 pounds. Takes another pitch that misses, now 2-0 the count. He bats right and throws right. He is a product of Newburyport, Massachusetts. Graduated from Newburyport High back in 2013, which makes this his final year of Legion eligibility. Kevin Martinez falling behind 3-0. The next pitch, Fontaine takes all the way, and he takes ball 4. So after 2 quick outs, a 4-pitch walk for Kevin Martinez. And that will extend the inning and give a chance to Dan Rose, the designated hitter.
Dan Rose.
So strikeout, a fly out, and now a walk. And the 4th batter in this Newburyport lineup will come to the plate. Dan Rose serving as the team's DH. A recent graduate of St. John's Prep, Dan Rose. Actually will not graduate until 2015. A couple of St. John's Prep students represented in this Newburyport lineup. Rose from Ipswich, Mass. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Now tries to hold up the swing on the 0-1, but he went around. And now down in the count, 0-2. 2 outs in this top of the first inning. Colton Fontaine, the runner at first base, gets off to a small lead. He's held on by Mike Caffarella. Martinez with the 0-2 pitch, a breaking ball that stays high. Defensively for post 59, it's Michael Ryan behind the plate, Andrew McMillan at third, Dan Mantoni at short, Joe White at second, and Mike Caffarella at first. Left to right in the outfield, it is Matt DeCina, Kevin Lynch, and Cam Cosette. Dan Rose all over that last pitch from Kevin Martinez, sending it high and far, but very foul. And it remains a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Milford back to their default defense after utilizing their specific Dan Mantoni infield defense for the game yesterday with Matt DeCina at third and Andrew McMillan at shortstop. Now everyone back to their natural positions after that last pitch that missed for a ball. Colton Fontaine able to steal second base without a throw. So he is in scoring position now with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. The pitch on the way. And another check swing. They will check down to first base. He did not go this time. And so now the count will go to 3-2. It was a very quick first 2 batters in this inning, but then the 4-pitch walk. And now a full count for Kevin Martinez against Dan Rose as Newburyport tries to put together a rally to take an early lead. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs as now Kevin Martinez steps off. He calls Michael Ryan out to the mound, making sure they are on the same page. And also taking note of that runner at second base, not wanting to give any signs away. Now Ryan returns to his spot behind the plate. A payoff pitch on the way to Dan Rose. Here it comes, and it is up high for ball 4. Back-to-back walks now for Martinez. So we talked about walks being a potential landmine for Martinez in this outing. He's now issued 2 walks after retiring the first 2 batters, so that command can sometimes be in and out for Martinez. Now facing Cam Toohey, the left fielder, with runners at first and second. Here's the first pitch, and it misses low, 4-1. I do believe I saw members of the Northeastern College coaching staff for the baseball team over there at Northeastern present in the stands. As this one is tapped out in front of the mound, springing out to make the play is Kevin Martinez. He throws to first base for the out that ends the inning. So Martinez able to pitch around those 2 walks. We're through with half an inning now from Feely Field. Milford post 59 will take their first swings of the game when we return here on playoff coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on First Class Radio. 2 walks in the top of the first inning for Kevin Martinez, but no harm done on the scoreboard. So now post 59 will come to the plate. Matt DeCina, Andrew McMillan, and Dan Mantoni, the 3 usual suspects to start off the Milford lineup. And if anyone gets on, the cleanup hitter Kevin Martinez will come to the plate. Everyone with a pretty solid offensive day in the game yesterday, as you would expect, with 11 runs on the scoreboard, but no one had a better day at the plate than the man striding to the plate right now, Matt DeCina. 4 for 4 in the game. He had 4 hits to go along with a walk and also a sacrifice fly, so he walked away, all things considered. 4 hits, 3 runs batted in, and a run scored. Not too shabby a day at the office for Milford's starting left fielder. About to stand in now to face the starter for Newburyport, Justin Cashman. Cashman, a right-handed pitcher. He nods his approval of the first sign. Now his first pitch on the way, and it bounces low and rolls to the backstop for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Matt DeCina now leading the team in hits, as well as runs scored and walks. Has 42 hits now on the season, to go along with 40 runs scored and 22 walks. He's ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Now a season batting average of .416, which is the second highest now on the team, second only to Andrew McMillan. 2 balls and 1 strike now the count to DeCina, leading things off here in the bottom of the first. Cashman into his windup. Here is the pitch. On the outside corner, a borderline pitch. It goes Cashman's way, and the count now evens at 2-2. Justin Cashman, an even 6 feet tall, 148 pounds, from Triton Regional. Gets a wave and a miss here out of DeCina, an unusual swing. DeCina not one to chase pitches, but he does so there and takes with him the first strikeout of the game for Justin Cashman. Both pitchers leading off their outings with a K. And now with the bases empty and 1 down, here is Andrew McMillan. A .446 batting average, .448, excuse me. That still paces this Milford lineup, swings away at the first pitch and drives it foul off to the left. McMillan regular season and playoffs combined 39 hits now on the year, 31 runs scored. He has 9 extra base hits on the season, 7 doubles and 2 triples. To go along with 16 runs batted in. Pitch misses inside, and again it glances off the glove of the catcher, Tyler Chasen. Defensively, Newburyport post 150 looks like this. It is Tyler Chasen behind the plate with Colton Fontaine at third, Pat Beaton at short, Rosario Massetti at second, and Ryan Kuchar at first. Left to right in the outfield, Cam Toohey, Colby Ingraham, and Bob Barry. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count to Andrew McMillan. A quick visit between catcher and pitcher. Now Cashman back into his wind. Here's the pitch, and it's hit on the ground towards third base, scooped up by Fontaine. He throws across the diamond in plenty of time to retire McMillan, and there's 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first. 5-3 on that out. And now here is Dan Mantoni. Mantoni improved to 6-0 overall on this 2014 season with a victory last night. 6 innings of work on the mound, allowing just 1 run on 2 hits. Takes the first pitch down in the dirt outside for ball 1. Mantoni offensively in the game yesterday had a hit and an RBI, also 2 walks. An overall batting average on the year of .388 for Mantoni. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. On the outside corner for a called strike. It looks like there might be a little bit of a wide strike zone this evening. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down, and the base is empty here in Milford's portion of the first inning. The next pitch on the way from Cashman, and it's right across the heart of the plate for strike 2. We've yet to see Mantoni swing the bat, and he's down 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cashman stares in, has the pitch he wants. It's on the way, and it's swung on and missed for strike 3. An impressive first inning for Justin Cashman. A 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts. And after 1 full inning of play here between Milford and Newburyport, we are scoreless. You're listening to coverage of the 2014 Legion State Tournament right here on First Class Radio. A scoreless first inning here at Feely Field, so we move right on to inning number 2. It will be batters 6, 7, and 8 due up for Newburyport. Colby Ingraham, the center fielder, leading things off. Kevin Martinez about to deliver his first pitch of the inning, and it's up and away. 1-0 the count. Colby Ingraham, 5'9", 160 pounds. A graduate of Georgetown High School. He hits a ground ball to second base. It glances off Joe White. He stays with it, throws low, and Caffarella cannot pick it at first base. That one took 1 big bounce. Came up high on Joe White. Bounced either off his glove or maybe off the chest. Rolled a foot or 2 away. White had to speed up the throw to first base, and it was low, and unable to pick it was Caffarella, so that will go as an error for Joe White to lead things off here in the second inning. Puts the lead runner on base. Joe White now with 11 errors on the season. They'll immediately check on Ingraham over at first base. He gets back safely. It's a 1-ball, no strike count. Meanwhile, on the shortstop, Pat Beaton up at the plate now. Nobody out in the inning. The lead man on. Doubling up on pickoff throws now is Martinez. This time Ingraham's able to get back standing up. Now finally ready to deliver to the plate, and delivers a called strike one. 1-ball and 1 strike now the count. If you're just tuning in, this game getting off to a bit of a late start, so we're only in the top of the second inning. As that pitch drops in too low, 2-1 now the count. Michael Ryan springing to his feet as if he wanted to send a throw down to first base, but held on to the baseball. Milford respecting the speed element of Colby Ingram. He holds as the pitch is foul tipped into the mid of Michael Ryan to even the count at 2-2. Newburyport wearing red jerseys with white trim and lettering, white uniform pants. Milford once again in their camo alternate jerseys. As this pitch is now hit on the ground to second base, fielded by Joe White. He throws to second base for the out there. The throw to first is there in time. 4-6-3. Milford turns the double play, and now the bases are empty with 2 outs. So Joe White able to atone for the error by starting that double play. White started it. A nice job at second base by Dan Mantoni to cover and make a nice accurate throw to Caffarella at first to complete the twin killing. So we've seen Milford turn 3 double plays over the last 2 games. They've all been different variety. They've actually turned at least 1 double play in all 3 of their tournament games so far. 2-0 quickly the count to Ryan Kuchar. We saw a 1-2-3 double play turned in the first tournament game. We saw a 6-4-3 and a 5-4-3 double play yesterday, and now a 4-6-3. So Milford putting on a double play clinic. That's a 2-ball, 1 strike count on Kuchar, filling in the lineup for the usual everyday first baseman for post 150. 2-2 now the count. Martinez looking to end it right here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. A little bit outside. Kuchar was able to hold up the bat, and the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. Martinez working quickly now, deals the pitch too low for ball 4. Already now, that's the 3rd walk. Martinez giving Newburyport some early base runners.
Number 33, the right fielder, Bob Barry.
Right now, the double play looming large for Milford. A runner aboard once again for Newburyport as their number 9 hitter, Bob Barry, comes to the plate. A lead at first base for Kuchar. Martinez takes notice, throws over in that direction, but Kuchar's able to get back standing up. Now another pickoff throw, this one a little bit closer, but again Kuchar was able to get back sliding this time. The pitch to the plate now for Martinez, in for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Barry up there on the right side. And now an awkward half swing. He went around. 0-2 the count. About halfway through that swing, Bob Barry trying to change his mind, but could not. Sending the bat head through the zone. Now 0-2 the count. The next pitch from Martinez is a breaking ball that's in there for a called strike 3. They had Barry frozen. It's the second strikeout for Kevin Martinez, and this one brings an end to the top of the second inning. Home half of the second inning we go. Still scoreless between Milford and Newburyport. Here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio and streaming online at WMRCDailyNews.com. Kevin Martinez now up for the first time, swings at the first pitch, loops it down the right field line in foul territory, but it travels into the stands. First pitch strike. Justin Cashman back out on the mound after a very quick first inning, 2 strikeouts in that bottom of the first. And Kevin Martinez, who's had a little bit of a rockier start to his outing, 3 walks. He's also seen an error defensively behind him, but he has been able to pitch out of any danger without any runs allowed. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This is outside and low, evening the count at 1-1. I promise to do my best not to call Justin Cashman Brian Cashman at any point tonight, but we'll see how that goes. A swinging strike 2 out of Kevin Martinez. 1-2 now the count. Cashman stares straight over his glove, getting the sign from Tyler Chase, and now the high leg kick and the pitch. And this one is chopped over to the left side. Ranging in is Colton Fontaine. A good throw and a good stretch by the first baseman Kuchar. And Martinez has retired. The first 4 have been set down in order by Justin Cashman. It's been 2 strikeouts and 2 groundouts to third base so far for Milford, and now Joe White will continue the search for Milford's first base runner. The first pitch of the at-bat from Cashman, in for a called strike 1. Milford has gotten off to some slow starts offensively in these last 2 games. That's obviously hard to believe given the final scores, but it's been late inning rallies each time that have done the job, as now Joe White gets into this pitch, drives it deep out to center field, but not deep enough to get past the glove of the center fielder Ingraham. And there are now 2 quick outs in the inning. The first fly ball out of the game for Milford bats, and now with 2 outs and the base is empty, here is Michael Ryan, the catcher. Digs in on the left side. It takes the first pitch right down Broadway for strike 1. It was a 1-for-4 day yesterday for Michael Ryan. He had a single and an RBI as part of that big 7-run rally in the 6th inning. He did also have a pair of strikeouts. He's quickly down in the count here, 0-2. And Cashman looking for his second straight 1-2-3 inning. 0-2 is the count. Here is the pitch. And just getting a piece of that one was Ryan. He fouls it over towards the first base dugout, which again is occupied by Newburyport for this game. Just about everyone standing over on the Milford sidelines along the third base side. Here comes another 0-2 pitch to Ryan. And this is away. 1-2 the count. Chatter now emerging from the Milford side as Cashman readies for his next pitch. It again misses a little bit outside, and battling back in the at-bat is Michael Ryan. He's worked it back now to a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Cashman has the sign, now delivers. Away again. And now it is a full count. Should Michael Ryan reach, Cam Cosette would be the next batter. Waiting in the on-deck circle. Meanwhile, Michael Ryan ready to see another pitch. But now too much time taken by Justin Cashman, so Ryan backs out of the box, now settles himself back in. Ryan with a .333 batting average on the season. Here is the 3-2 pitch. It is in there for a called strike 3. Ryan knew it immediately, heading back to the dugout. Now 3 strikeouts through the first 2 innings for Justin Cashman, who has retired the first 6 in a row. On to inning number 3. No score here at Feely Field between Milford and Newburyport. on playoff coverage of Milford Legion baseball right here on First Class Radio. So far, the Milford offense has not been able to muster up anything against Justin Cashman, who has 3 strikeouts. He's retired the first 6 in a row in the Milford lineup. So right back to the plate comes Newburyport. They will go second time through as Tyler Chasen comes to the plate. First pitch a strike. And now an even count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Now the 1-1 pitch missing further inside. Chasen backing out of the way. He struck out looking to open up the top of the first inning. Martinez into the wind. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's in for a called strike 2. We'll feed you an occasional update on the Boston Red Sox as well as they continue to play on up at Fenway. 2-ball, 2-strike pitch, a close one on the inside edge, but ruled a ball, and that will run the count full. Appears that Toronto has opened up a 6-1 lead on the Sox in that series up there. Meanwhile, a swinging strike 3, and Tyler Chasen strikes out for the second time. 1 out, and the base is empty now for Rosario Mazzetti, who flew out in the top of the first inning. Of course, obviously the big news for the Red Sox right now is the impending trade of John Lester, which seems like it is all but a given at this point, with the trade deadline now less than 24 hours away, coming up at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Mazzetti takes the first pitch for a called strike 1, 1 away in this top of the third inning. The base is empty. The 0-1 pitch misses for a ball, and Michael Ryan's had a couple of issues over the course of this outing so far handling Martinez's pitches. A few of them have been boxed around. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's chopped on the ground slowly towards third base. Andrew McMillan makes the play. A nice quick throw over to first base. Gets Mazzetti for the second out of the inning.
Now batting third baseman, number 7, Colton Fontaine.
Now Colton Fontaine will come to the plate. He was able to work a 2-out walk back in the first inning, part of back-to-back walks allowed by Martinez. Kevin looking for his first 1-2-3 inning, looking to settle down. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. And a descent foul to the backstop. We've seen out of the previous 2 starters for Milford, Dan Avery and Dan Mantoni. It took those 2 a little while to get comfortable out there on the mound here in tournament play. Eventually each of them did settle into their outings. Martinez looking to do the same. He has pitched scoreless baseball up until this point. And now ahead of Colton Fontaine, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the inning. He shakes off the first sign from Michael Ryan, now has one he likes. Here is the pitch, and it is swung on and missed for strike 3. He elevated that pitch and got it past the bat of Fontaine, and that will end the top of the third inning. Martinez able to set him down 1-2-3 onto the home half of the third inning. Still scoreless here from Sudbury on playoff coverage of Milford Legion baseball on WMRC First Class Radio. So far, Newburyport has had a total of 4 base runners, 3 via the base on balls and 1 on an error charged to Joe White. Milford, meanwhile, has yet to have a hit or a base runner. They will send the bottom third of their lineup to the plate here in the third inning. Cam Cosette leading it off. Looks at the first pitch from Justin Cashman and misses low for ball 1. Just past the hour of 9 p.m. as we continue to play late evening baseball. Reminiscent of the late start times up at Rochdale Park. making the trip up there to play Cherry Valley during the regular season. Those games not usually getting underway until after 8 o'clock. 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Cam Cosette, who watches that pitch just miss. That was a close one. 2-1 now, the count. Cosette reaching base 3 times in the game yesterday. Nice day offensively for Cam, who chops one slowly over to third base. Waiting for it is Fontaine. Now throws offline. It pulls Kuchar off the bag, and Cosette will reach. Breaks a string of 6 in a row, retired to open the game for Justin Cashman. A bang-bang play over at first base. Certainly a good rangy play by Fontaine, but a good throw probably would have had Cosette. So that would likely go as an error on Fontaine. Putting Cosette at first base now with nobody out, and Mike Caffarella coming to the plate. Cam Cosette immediately takes off for second base on the first pitch. The throw down there is not in time. Sliding in feet first was Cosette with the steal. The pitch was a strike to Caffarella. Cosette showing no hesitation on the base paths despite being thrown out trying to steal in yesterday's game after reaching in the second inning of that one against Greenfield, but now Cosette into scoring position. And 0-2 the count to Mike Caffarella, who's been productive when he's been in the lineup in these playoffs so far. Carries a .444 playoff batting average, and that included 3 hits in 5 at-bats in the Zone 4 finals. A waving swing and a miss here, and Cashman was able to make quick work of Caffarella, getting his 4th strikeout.
Center fielder, number 13, Kevin Lynch.
Both pitchers now with 4 Ks in the game. 1 down in the 3rd for Kevin Lynch. A hesitation from Cashman. Now he comes home. The pitch misses inside. Kevin Lynch, the only member of the Milford starting lineup left out of the hit party yesterday. Milford collecting 14 hits off of Greenfield pitching. Lynch ended up going 0 for 3. He did reach base twice via walks. The 1-0 pitch, Lynch turning to bunt. He offered at it. Count goes to 1-1. Matt Tessina and the top of the Milford order waits on deck. A look in by Cashman. A peek down to second base where Cosette is held close by the shortstop. And now before we see another pitch, Cashman calls out his catcher Tyler Chasen for a couple of quick words. Kevin Lynch takes the opportunity to check down to head coach Steve DeVito. As now during the timeout, the public address announcer here in Sudbury giving an acknowledgement to Brett Crosby, the bat boy for Milford, and Brett playing it up to the crowd. Nice moment for the Milford bench and the Milford fans, giving him a hand. 1-1 now the count. And the pitch misses. 2-1 now. Once again, getting off to a lead at second base is Cam Cosette. Stares in towards the pitcher, who now comes home with a pitch to Lynch. Tries to check the swing. They'll check to the infield umpire, and Lynch was able to hold up. A close call, but the infield umpire saying Lynch did not swing. 3-1 now the count. The infield umpire set up around second and third base, as now the 3-1 pitch is swung on and missed, and that will fill up the count. 2 infield umpires rotating around to get the best angle based on the current action in the inning. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count to Kevin Lynch. 1 out in the inning. The that runner in scoring position in a scoreless game. Cashman deals to the plate, and the pitch is swung on and sent foul out of play off to the right. Hits off of the protective netting that rises up above the first base dugout. That one bouncing back, nearly grazing the head coach for Newburyport, Tim Southall. Another 3-2 pitch on the way now. Here it is, and it is in for a called strike. Kevin Lynch knew it right away. These Milford batters having a tough time with Justin Cashman. Still no hits allowed, and that is now strikeout number 5. Milford with just 3 strikeouts all game yesterday against Greenfield. Prior to that, had 4 strikeouts in total against Lowell to open up the tournament. So Cashman with good deception against these hitters, and a couple of these strikeouts have been called third strikes. So a lot of good stuff displayed from Justin Cashman, who starts off with a first pitch ball to Matt DeCina. We'll see what adjustments the Milford lineup can make now, second time through. And DeCina now ahead in the count, 2-0. Cam Cosette was in scoring position with nobody out. 2 strikeouts later, he remains there with 2 away. A hit could mean a run for Milford here with 2 outs. 2 balls and no strikes from the stretch. Here's the pitch from Cashman, in for a strike. 2-1 the count. DeCina striking out in his first at bat. Milford bench trying to make some noise to help this rally along. Here's the pitch, and a close one, this time missing off the outside edge, and now 3 balls and 1 strike is the count. DeCina on the season has struck out a total of 10 times, 11 now, including the one back in the first inning. There's the 3-1 offering. It's swung on and hit foul off to the left, up over the dugout and towards the spectators. So a full count to Matt DeCina, 2 outs in the inning, and again Cam Cosette will give himself a big lead at second base. And now stepping off is Cashman, and so Cosette will spring back to the second base bag. Gets out to a walking lead again as Cashman comes to the set position. Kicks and deals, and this pitch is poked down the third base line, fielded right around the bag by the third baseman Fontaine, but he throws wildly to first, and this one will travel right to the edge of play. They'll hold Cosette at third base. Fontaine making the play just behind the third base bag, maybe threw a little bit flat-footed to first base, and the throw gets past Kuchar, so that's the second error from Fontaine in this inning. Puts runners at the corners now for Milford with 2 outs, and it gives a chance for Andrew McMillan. But before McMillan starts the at-bat, Coach Southall popping out of the Newburyport dugout to have a talk with his pitcher. The entire infield converging on the mound. So a big at-bat coming up. Milford has really struggled to get anything done against Cashman. The only reason they've had base runners here in this inning has been due to defensive miscues. They have still yet to collect a hit. We remain hitless overall in the game through these first 3 innings. A hit here for Andrew McMillan would produce the game's first run, with Cam Cosette now at third base, along with Matt DeCina at first. Here's the first pitch now into McMillan, and it misses for ball 1. Milford bench goes to work once again, cheering on their teammate Andrew McMillan, who settles back in on the left side, raises the bat over the shoulder. 1 ball and no strikes is the count. Here's the pitch, and it misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. It has been a lengthy inning for Justin Cashman, despite not allowing any hits or walks so far. Cosette reaching to lead off this inning on an error by the third baseman. A pair of strikeouts back-to-back of Caffarella and Lynch before Matt Tessina reached on the second error charged to Colton Fontaine. And that has given Milford this opportunity with 2 men on, and now a 2-ball, 1-strike count on Andrew McMillan, who grounded out in his first at-bat. Here's the next pitch, and it's taken for a ball. 3-1 the count. A walk would load the bases ahead of Dan Mantoni. Chilly conditions out on the field here in Sudbury as we play on into the late evening hours. 3 balls and 1 strike the count, 2 outs in the inning. Here's the pitch. It's swung on and missed. A big cut by McMillan. So that will fill the count. Tessina will have a chance to get a head start at first base. Cam Cosette gets off to a lead at third. A scoreless game here in the bottom of the third inning. A 3-2 pitch on the way, and it is swung on and missed, held on to by the catcher. And McMillan goes down to end the inning. So Milford strands a runner at third base, and we have now played 3 innings here in this state tournament game between Milford and Newburyport, and it is scoreless here on WMRC First Class Radio. Milford, the first team to get a runner to third base in this game. They had a nice opportunity presented to them to take a lead in the game, but Justin Cashman able to battle back to strike out Andrew McMillan. He actually struck out the side in that third inning with the 2 errors mixed in there. And already now 6 Ks through the first 3 innings for Cashman. Kevin Martinez, a little bit of a wait in between innings. Unfortunately, no runs supplied after that lengthy delay, as he now deals with the cleanup hitter Dan Rose, who just clobbered a pitch deep and foul off to the left. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Here's the pitch, and it's hit down the third base line, but again foul. Now 1-2 the count. Once again, our friends from Milford TV present at this game. You can expect to see full highlights of this tournament game on the Milford Informer coming up this Friday at 7:30. We'll also play the game in its entirety on Milford TV as soon as it is ready to go. A called strike 3 here to Dan Rose, and that is how the top of the 4th opens up.
Number 9, left fielder, Cam.
And that is the 5th strikeout for Martinez, so both of these pitchers with their strikeout pitches working. Martinez has collected 4 of his last 5 outs by way of the K. And now first pitch swinging. Cam Toohey delivers one deep out to left field. That is a fair ball traveling down into the corner. It's going to be extra bases as Toohey cruises into second base with a 1-out double. Gestures over to his teammates after coming through with that line drive extra base hit. So 1-out runner in scoring position, and there is finally the first hit of the game. A man in scoring position, and a trip out to the pitcher's mound for Michael Ryan before Colby Ingraham comes to the plate. Rose retired on the strikeout to open this inning before Cam Toohey sent a pitch down the left field line for that 1-out double. He stands at second base now as Ingraham readies to see his first pitch of this at-bat. Here it comes. And it misses low for ball 1. Now some chatter rising up from the Newburyport sideline, hoping to see their team grab the first lead. Colby Ingraham, meanwhile, reached on an error by Joe White back in the second inning. 1-0 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's on the inside edge for a called strike. Ingraham trying to get the hands out of the way, but that one crossing through the strike zone. 1 ball and 1 strike. A long look in for Martinez. Now he twists around to check on the runner at second base, and meanwhile, too much time taken. Ingraham steps out of the box. Martinez now ready with the pitch. It is on the way, and it's swung on and fouled back for strike 2. Collected by Pat Beaton from the on-deck circle for Newburyport. Now to a lead at second goes Toohey, as Ingraham pinwheels the bat over the plate, now settles in. The 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. It briefly gets away. Michael Ryan can't apply the tag, so he sends the throw down to first base to complete the out. Another strikeout for Kevin Martinez, now strikeout number 6. So that gives us a grand total of 12 strikeouts so far over the first 3+ innings. 2 away here in the top of the 4th. Now the batter is Pat Beaton, who grounded into a 4-6-3 double play in his first at bat. Lines a foul ball to the backstop for a first pitch strike. Infield plays deep up the middle. Both Joe White and Dan Mantoni right up against the outfield grass. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's chopped on the ground towards second. Gobbled up by Joe White. The throw over to first base gets there for the out. That ends the inning. So Martinez is able to pitch effectively around the 1-out double. And we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, still scoreless here in state tournament action on WMRC First Class Radio. Justin Cashman out for his 4th inning of work, about to deal with Dan Mantoni, who takes the first pitch for ball 1. Mantoni, a strikeout victim back in the first inning, one of 6 Ks that Cashman has in his outing to this point. Now Mantoni swings at that pitch and sends it hard to the backstop, evening the count at 1-1. We have only seen a handful of baseballs make it to the outfield so far this evening. As now Mantoni hits a hard ground ball to shortstop. It eats up Pat Beaton and travels out into left center field. Positioned well was Beaton to make the play, but he must have taken a tricky hop. And that's already now the 3rd error for the infield here for Newburyport. So Mantoni, the leadoff runner on. It's the 2nd straight inning Milford's had the leadoff man on base, courtesy of an error. Mantoni leading off of first now for Kevin Martinez. Bluffing partway down the line was Mantoni. First pitch of ball to Kevin Martinez, who grounded out 5-3 in his only at bat so far tonight. Looking to break through with the first hit for post 59. But first a pickoff check on Dan Mantoni, who's able to dive back to the bag. Not one of the typical base stealing threats for post 59. Mantoni only with 2 steals on the season. 1-0 the count to Kevin Martinez, who takes an off-balance swing and comes up empty. That evens the count at 1-1. Nobody out here, already in the top of the 4th inning, so this game has had a pretty quick pace to it after getting off to the late start. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. The pitch misses outside and low. 2-1 the count to Kevin Martinez, who leads post 59 and runs batted in. Now with 31 runs batted in on the season, the first post 59 batter to break the 30 threshold in runs driven in. 2 balls and 2 strikes now the count. Martinez had 2 RBI in the game yesterday against Greenfield to follow up a 3-run batted in performance in the first game against Lowell. 2 balls and 2 strikes here. The next pitch on the way to Martinez, and this one is hit over the head of the second baseman out into right center field. There's the first clean hit of the day for post 59, taking a wide turn around first base is Martinez. He'll settle for the long single. Going from first to third on the play was Dan Mantoni. So the hit column now officially occupied by both teams. And more importantly, Milford with runners at the corners and nobody out. And here comes Joe White. Solid contact made there by Kevin Martinez. For the second straight inning, Milford will have a runner at third base. This time ahead of Joe White, who flew out to center field. He is 0 for 1. From the stretch, here's the first pitch from White, who drives it hard but foul off to the left. Nothing in 1 the count. Dan Mantoni talking things over with Coach DeVito as he tiptoes out to a lead down the third base line. The set by Cashman, the pitch. This is grounded up the middle, scooped up at shortstop. He'll take it to the bag himself for the out there. The throw to first, not in time, and in the back door from third base to score is Dan Mantoni. There was a little bit of miscommunication between the shortstop Beaton and the second baseman Massetti, as it looked like Beaton wanted to take that to the bag himself. Massetti was expecting the underhand toss, so he finally had to clear out of the way at the last minute. As Beaton took it across the bag, that may have delayed him just enough to allow Joe White to beat out that throw at first base, so White will get an RBI on the fielder's choice. Erased from the bases is Kevin Martinez, but scoring the run was Dan Mantoni to give post 59 a 1-0 lead. Just 1 out in the inning, and now Joe White, the lone base runner at first. Michael Ryan now about to make his second plate appearance. He struck out back in the second inning. Struck out looking to end that inning. Now a couple of pickoff tosses towards first base. The second one a little bit closer than the first, but each time White able to get back. Ryan still waiting to see the first pitch. Now here it comes. And this is for a ball. Milford finally producing the first run in what has been a good pitcher's duel through the early innings. Plating the first run here in the bottom of the fourth as the 1-0 pitch misses outside and low. 2 balls and no strikes the count to the Milford catcher. Ryan driving in a run with a single in the game yesterday. Also had an RBI on a sacrifice fly in the game against Lowell, so driving in runs in each of the tournament games so far. Swings away at the 2-0 and pops it foul out of play. Two and 1 the count. The runner takes off. The pitch is swung on and hit foul. Out of play beyond the third base dugout. Joe White trying to gauge the pitching motion of Justin Cashman. He did get a good jump on that last pitch, but has to retreat after the foul ball. Joe White with 6 stolen bases on the season. Here's the next pitch into Michael Ryan. It misses outside for a ball, glances off the glove of Chasen, so now White will have a chance to move into scoring position uncontested on the pass ball. Three balls and 2 strikes now the count to Ryan with a runner at second base and 1 out. Cam Cosette would be the next batter, and will be the next batter provided we don't see some sort of atypical double play. Here is the 3-2 pitch, and it is swung on and missed. And Michael Ryan goes down on strikes for the second time tonight. Now 7 strikeouts in the game for Justin Cashman, 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Cosette now will come to the plate. Reached on an error back in the 3rd, then stole second base, but was left on the base paths. He eventually advanced to 3rd base, but no further. Takes the first pitch from Cashman for a called strike 1. Cosette has reached base frequently so far in these finals. He was on base 3 times against Lowell, 3 times yesterday against Greenfield. Reached base on an error so far here tonight. Cosette able to hold up on the swing on the 0-1 pitch, so that evens things up. Cosette settling back in on the right side. The 1-1 pitch about to be thrown by Cashman. Here it is. It's hit on the ground down the first base line, but it is a foul ball. Gathered in foul ground by Ryan Kuchar. We are 2 outs deep here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Milford finally breaking the scoreless tie. An RBI on a fielder's choice by Joe White, the difference in the game right now. Here comes the 1-2 pitch into Cam Cosette, and it's swung on and missed. And that will be strike 3 to end the inning. So now 8 strikeouts in all for Justin Cashman, but he does allow a run here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So as we head to the 5th, it is now Milford out in front 1-0 here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. Kevin Martinez now with the opportunity to pitch with a lead, albeit the slimmest of leads. But post 59 able to scratch across a run in the bottom of the 4th inning to take a 1-0 lead. And now Martinez will face Ryan Kuchar, Bob Barry, and Tyler Chasen here in the top of the 5th inning.
First baseman Ryan Kuchar.
It will be the first baseman Kuchar to start things off. He worked a walk against Kevin Martinez in the 2nd inning. Martinez with 3 walks so far in the game, but also 6 strikeouts. He delivers the first pitch high for ball 1. Back into his windup is Martinez, and the pitch. This one drops in for a strike. It evens the count at 1-1. The next pitch into Kuchar is fouled to the backstop. Kuchar listed at 5'10", 175 pounds. A student at Pentucket Regional High School, a recent graduate. Hails from Merrimack, Mass. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's waved at and missed for strike 3. The ball briefly gets away from Michael Ryan. He throws down to Caffarella to complete the out. There is the 7th strikeout for Kevin Martinez as these 2 pitchers continue to duel back and forth with strikeouts. Been pretty impressive in these early innings. Now here is Barry. They list him as Bobby Barry in the official program that we received here at the start of tournament play. Barry listed at 5'11", 185 pounds, also a recent graduate of Pentucket Regional High School. The 0-1 pitch popped up in foul ground wide of first base. Ranging over is Caffarella. He took an odd route around the 3rd base coach's box, and that will drop Taking a roundabout track was Caffarella. That should have been an easy out. Not really sure why Caffarella didn't choose to just go straight on through the box as the first base coach had vacated the premises. But it's now an 0-ball, 2-strike count on the number 9 hitter in the Newburyport order. Leadoff hitter Tyler Chasen waiting on deck. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And it's chopped on the ground to shortstop. Mantoni fields it cleanly, throws across his body in time to get the out. Yet another impressive defensive display by Dan Mantoni. That play brought back memories of Nomar Garcia-Parra with the way he would play those balls off balance, send those throws across his body over to first base, having success for so long with the Red Sox. Dan Mantoni has played a superb defensive shortstop all season long. He has continued to really hone his skills there at that position, certainly over the last 3 years that I have been covering him. Now 1-ball, no-strike count on Chasen, who pops this pitch up in the air out to left field. A few steps back was Decina. Now he ranges in to make the catch. And a very quick and easy 1-2-3 top of the 5th inning for Kevin Martinez. 4.5 innings in the books from Feely Field in Sudbury, and it is a 1-0 lead for Milford post 59 here on WMRC First Class Radio. We know they will still have more baseball to be played here in the state tournament, despite the outcome of today's game. But if they can hold on and secure a win here tonight, then they would ensure that they will be one of the final 2 teams standing. Meanwhile, back to live action where Mike Caffarella leads things off here in the bottom of the 5th. Looking at the first 2 pitches for strikes from Justin Cashman. Here is the 0-2, and Caffarella waves and misses. That is the 2nd strikeout of the night for Caffarella, and it's been 2 quick at-bats so far for the Milford first baseman. And for Justin Cashman, that is now strikeout number 9. He has struck out at least 1 in every inning. 2 strikeouts in the first, 1 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth, and now 1 in the 5th, as this is a slow rolling ball towards first base off the bat of Kevin Lynch. The play is made over there by the second baseman, Missetti, firing to first for the out. And 2 up and 2 down very quickly for Milford. And now that leaves it up to Matt Decina batting with the bases empty. Milford again with just 1 hit in the game as part of that rally last inning. It's been a much different story so far tonight than what we've seen offensively out of Milford previously. Again, coming off of an 11-run, 14-hit Mercy Rule win last night. And just 1 hit through the first 4 2/3, and now a 2-ball, no-strike count on Matt Decina. We gave you the stats in the open. It's been 30 hits through 2 tournament games so far for Milford. Matt Decina sends a slow roller to shortstop, fielded by Beaton. He throws on to first in time to get the out. And each side enjoys a swift-moving 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th, which sends us right on to inning number 6 with Milford up by a score of 1-0 over Newburyport here on live coverage of Milford Legion Baseball in the state tournament on First Class Radio. Not a whole lot of time in the dugout for Kevin Martinez. He's right back out now for the top of the 6th inning. He's retired the last 5 batters he's faced. And he's actually retired 10 of the last 11 Newburyport batters. The last man to reach base was Cam Toohey, who doubled with 1 out back in the 4th inning. It's Rosario Missetti, Colton Fontaine, and Dan Rose, the 3 coming up. Batters 2, 3, and 4 in the Newburyport lineup. And it's a quick 2-ball, no strike count on Massetti, who is 0 for 2 so far. The wind-up and the pitch from Martinez, and it's a breaking ball, a good one that drops in for a called strike. Two and one now as Massetti takes a quick stroll out of the box. Now back in, a wide open stance for the Newburyport second baseman, who now takes a pitch high. The count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Martinez nods at the signal from Michael Ryan, and now this pitch is hit on the ground to second base. Joe White makes the play, a good throw to Caffarella, and the first man is out here in the top of the 6th. I mentioned it a little bit earlier, didn't have a chance to finish the point, but Kevin Martinez under the watchful eye in this game of not only his present Legion head coach in Steve DeVito, but also members of the Northeastern University baseball coaching staff present, as Kevin will be a freshman at Northeastern this fall, a member of the baseball team coming up next spring. He's pitched a good ball game to this point, also has the only hit on record for post 59. He's down in the count right now to Colton Fontaine, 2-0. Here's the pitch. That one drops in too low, now 3-0. Martinez with 3 walks early in his outing, 2 in the first, 1 in the second. And now delivers a called strike here to bring the count to 3-1. He has not walked a batter since the top of the second. Now ready with a 3-1, and it's in for a called strike too. Martinez battles back. Stays right on the pitching rubber. Takes the sign from Ryan, now comes home, and that pitch misses up and away for ball 4. Martinez frustrated as he loses the batter. That is his 4th walk.
Number 20, the designated hitter, Dan Rose.
That breaks up a string of 6 in a row retired, puts the tying run on the base paths for Newburyport. Remember, this is just a 1-0 lead for Milford. Not the big leads we've seen in the earlier days of this tournament. And now Martinez deals the first pitch in low to Dan Rose to start off 1-0. There is action in the Milford bullpen. David Sampson starting to get loose. And now a pickoff check over at first base, and Fontaine gets back in. Now the 1-0 pitch misses up and away, and that will bring Michael Ryan out to the pitcher's mound to hand deliver the baseball. It has been a while since we've seen David Sampson, so you had to figure he would get some work in here in this game at some point. And before the visit breaks up between Martinez and Michael Ryan, Coach DeVito decides to join in the action. We have not seen David Sampson at all in these state tournament games. He last pitched back on July 22nd. He pitched an inning and a third in relief of the final game against Wachusett. Meanwhile, this pitch is driven deep out to left field. That's going to get down for a hit and roll to the wall, fielded by Matessina. The runner will come home, and the throw is there in plenty of time. And out at the plate is Colton Fontaine. It was an absolutely curious, head-scratching decision. I didn't have a chance to see if the third base coach waved Fontaine home. He rounded third base as the relay throw came into shortstop. So the throw was in at home plate, ready and waiting for Colton Fontaine. And now a discussion going on between Michael Ryan, Coach DeVito, and the home plate umpire. I believe that Michael Ryan may have taken exception to the way in which Fontaine came into the plate. He came in very hard with that throw there on the money, ready and waiting. So now the conversation breaking up, Coach DeVito making sure that Michael Ryan maintained his cool. giving him a few minutes to collect himself. So that will go as a double for Dan Rose, but the runner thrown out at home plate. So there are 2 outs in the inning, and the runner at second base. Quite a crazy sequence for Newburyport, really shooting themselves in the foot. If they end up coming away from this inning without scoring, they would have had a really good opportunity with 2 men in scoring position and 1 down. And now 2 outs, a runner at second base, an 0-1 count on Cam Toohey. And now it evens up at 1-1. Toohey has grounded out and doubled in this game, 1 for 2. So that's now 2 doubles in all for this Newburyport offense. 1-1 pitch on the way, and it misses low. It travels to the backstop, and that will allow the runner to advance. So it makes the base running blunder by Newburyport all the more glaring, as they could have potentially had a run on that wild pitch. So now Dan Rose stands at third base as the potential tying run. 2 balls and 1 strike, the count on Toohey with 2 outs in the inning. Martinez trying to regain his composure. This pitch swung on and missed. And now a 2-ball, 2-strike count. The chatter rising on both sidelines. The intensity has ramped up over these last few batters. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's swung on and missed for strike 3. The tag applied by Michael Ryan. No contact on the swing from Toohey, so that strikeout will end the inning. Newburyport runs into an out at the plate and cannot score in this top of the 6th inning. We head on to the bottom of the frame, still 1-0 Milford here on WMRC First Class Radio. Well, quite a dramatic sequence in the midst of that top of the 6th inning. After Kevin Martinez retired the first batter, he allowed a walk and then a double. But Colton Fontaine thrown out at the plate in a very curious base running decision by Newburyport, and they end up squandering a run scoring opportunity in the inning. So now into the bottom of the 6th, the first pitch into Andrew McMillan from Justin Cashman is ball 1. Cashman has been superb on the mound for post 150. Post 150. Easy for me to say. He's pitched 5 innings so far, just 1 unearned run allowed on 1 hit with 9 strikeouts. The 2-0 pitch misses again. And again, a little bit of bad blood between Michael Ryan, the catcher, and the base runner Colton Fontaine on that play at the plate. McMillan takes that pitch for ball 4, a 4-pitch walk to open up this 6th inning, and that is just the first walk of the outing for Cashman. Let's see if that sort of intensity continues into these later innings. No outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. The lead runner on for Milford ahead of Dan Mantoni. And Mantoni takes the first pitch for ball 1. That's 5 straight out of the strike zone to open up this inning for Cashman. And that prompts a visit from Tyler Chasen. Kevin Martinez waiting on deck, a 1-0 count to Dan Mantoni, and it looks like we'll start to see some action now in the Newburyport bullpen after Cashman has really been in pretty good command through most of this game. It looks like Pat Slack is the pitcher starting to warm. A pickoff throw over to first base, not nearly in time to get McMillan. Now the pitch to the plate and misses low for ball 2. And make it 6 straight out of the strike zone from Cashman, so possibly starting to tire a bit, getting deep into his outing. McMillan will lead at first base. The 2-0 pitch is swung on and missed. Mantoni frustrated that he missed that one, sending it foul off to the right. expecting a fastball, getting himself geared up, but could not deliver it in fair ground. 2-1 now the count. They play a double play depth up the middle. The pitch from Cashman on the outside corner, and now the count evens at 2-2. Every single member of the post 59 bench and coaching staff standing, hoping to see their offense increase the lead. Here is the 2-2 pitch. Mantoni able to hold up the swing on the outside pitch, and the count runs full. This goes without saying, has been the tightest ball game we have called so far here in Sudbury. Here is the 3-2 pitch, now lifted in the air, foul again off to the right. Mantoni getting that one off the end of the bat. Andrew McMillan making contact with the first base bag, now sidesteps out to a lead. He's held on by Kuchar. He takes off on the 3-2 pitch that's lifted in the air down the right field line, but it twists foul and makes its way all the way out of the field of play. Good speed at first base with Andrew McMillan. Attempting to take off on the 3-2 pitch. McMillan with 8 steals on the season. That is second on the team. Another 3-2 pitch on the way. Again, McMillan takes off as that one misses down in the dirt for ball 4. And it's back-to-back walks for Justin Cashman after he did not issue a free pass through the first 5 innings. 2 on with nobody out, and now Coach Southall coming out of the Newburyport dugout to take stock of his starting pitcher, and once again, most of the infield joining in on the conversation. It was Kuchar, the only one who did not range in for the meeting, now notices that fact, so joining in with his fellow teammates along with his head coach on the pitcher's mound. Kevin Martinez down the third base line, talking things over with Coach DeVito. Milford with the first 2 runners on base here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They lead this game only 1-0. So they would certainly like to give themselves a little bit of breathing room as we head into the later stages. Later stages in the game, and also later stages in the evening, as we've now reached 10 p.m. Martinez swings at the first pitch and grounds it foul down the third base line. This will certainly end up being our latest finish for a Milford Legion game this season. Certainly the fans won't mind staying up late if their team can come away with a win. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's looped down the right field line, but it lands foul. That was going to be trouble as it had gotten up over the head of Ryan Kuchar, but it lands a couple of feet in foul ground up the right field line, and now a no-ball, 2-strike count on Kevin Martinez, who is 1 for 2 so far. It just went final up at Fenway Park. The Red Sox lose again. Blue Jays 6, Red Sox 1. Mark Burley gets the victory. Brandon Workman gets the loss, pitching in the place of John Lester, who was scratched from the start amid trade rumors. Kevin Martinez now a swing and a miss. He goes down. That strikeout brings the first out of this bottom of the 6th inning, and it brings the 10th strikeout for Justin Cashman. After 2 walks to start the inning, coming back with the K, and now here is Joe White, who has the game's only run batted in. Came on a fielder's choice play back in the 4th. Here's the first pitch. It's on the outside corner for a strike. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning here at Feely Field in Sudbury. 2 runners aboard with 1 out for Milford. An 0-1 pitch on the way to Joe White. It misses inside. Andrew McMillan is at second base with Dan Mantoni at first. Joe White settles the bat over the shoulder. A look down to second base for Cashman. Now he comes home and the pitch is sent foul up towards the fans on the third base side, and Cashman ahead in the count, 0-2. Joe White reached base twice in the game yesterday against Greenfield, once on a hit by pitch, and then he singled as part of the 7-run 6th inning rally. Milford would love to have another big rally here in this 6th inning as both runners take off. No throw from Chasen as he dropped the baseball. A double steal executed perfectly by post 59. And that advances both runners into scoring position. McMillan now at third with Mantoni at second. And a 1-2 count on Joe White. Now leaning in towards the plate is Cashman looking for the sign. He sets and deals. The pitch again fouled off to the left side. Feeling a bit like a autumn evening here in Sudbury. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to White, the pitch. And again, he fouls it away. He's making Cashman work here, trying to find a pitch he can handle. It was 70 degrees when we started this game here in Sudbury, now all the way down to 62. As Joe White awaits another 1-2 pitch. This time he lines it past the dive of Pat Beaton out into left field for a base hit. Into score comes Andrew McMillan. They will hold Dan Mantoni at third base, and after a great at-bat by Joe White, a number of foul balls, he's able to poke that one just past the dive of Pat Beaton, the shortstop, and Milford ups their lead now to 2-0. They had the infield pulled in tight. If Beaton had been back a little ways at shortstop, he may have had a better chance to make a play on that ball, but instead it gets through as an RBI single. Milford now with a 2-0 lead. As Andrew McMillan crosses the plate. Dan Mantoni is now at third, so again Milford has runners at the corners. Michael Ryan has had a tough time against Justin Cashman so far this evening. A strikeout looking in the second inning, a strikeout swinging in the fourth. He takes the first pitch here for ball 1. One ball and no strikes. Here is the pitch, and this is driven out to right field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Around to score comes Dan Mantoni. Back-to-back RBI singles for Milford here as they now up the lead to 3-0. Michael Ryan dropping that one down just ahead of Bob Barry out in right field. It's become a bit of a foggy right field. Fog starting to come up off the field with the cool temperatures here. So Milford able to have some magic here in the 6th inning again. It looks like the home plate umpire trying to rein things in over on the Milford sideline, urging the players to get back in tighter on the dugout as they had ventured out pretty far on the sidelines. It's a 3-0 lead now for Milford. Runners at first and second, 1 out, and now Cam Cosette takes the first pitch for strike 1. McMillan and Mantoni have both crossed the plate so far. It's Joe White, the runner at second base, with Ryan at first. Cam Cosette has reached on an error and struck out so far. Here's the 0-1. It's off the glove of the catcher, and the runners move up. Pitch going as a ball to even the count at 1-1. It popped off the top of the mitt of Tyler Chasen. The hit could mean 2 more runs now for Milford as a hush falls over the crowd here. And certainly the Milford portion of the fan base out at Feely Field enjoying what they've seen so far in this bottom of the 6th inning. The infield again is in all the way around for Newburyport, particularly on the right side, as now Cosette takes a pitch. It's now a 1-ball, 2-strike count. The second baseman and first baseman in several steps on the infield grass. Here's the next pitch. It's swung on and missed, and Cosette goes down on strikes for the second time. And Cashman able to up the strikeout total to 11. And we will now see a pinch hitting appearance for the post 59 lineup as Blake Hill is introduced, taking the place of Mike Caffarella. So that is a sure indication that Kevin Martinez's day on the mound is done. He will likely take over at first base when Milford takes the field in the top of the 7th. Mike Caffarella 0 for 2.
Just let it go.
One ball, 1-strike count on Blake Hill, the pinch hitter, taking the place of Mike Caffarella, who had a pair of strikeouts in his 2 plate appearances tonight. Hill now a count of 1-2. Made the start in left field yesterday, came through with a 2 for 4 day, had 2 runs batted in. And now facing an even count of 2 balls and 2 strikes after that last pitch narrowly missed from Cashman. Runners at second and third with 2 outs for Milford. The pitch misses inside and low. 3-2 now the count. Joe White, the runner at third base, with Michael Ryan, the runner at second. 2 runs home so far in the 6th inning for Milford. They lead at 3-0. The payoff pitch on the way to Blake Hill, and it's popped up foul. It will range out of play. Should Blake Hill reach, Kevin Lynch would be the next batter. Blake Hill with a 2-run hit in the 6th inning last night, looking for the same result tonight, but instead takes a pitch high for ball 4. He trots down to first base, and they are loaded up ahead of Kevin Lynch. Lynch is due for a hit. He's 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a ground out, and was 0 for in the game last night as well. Just 1 hit so far in this state tournament. Batting with the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Cashman back into the full windup now with the bases loaded. Here's the pitch, and it's hit off the end of the bat, foul for strike 1. A Milford runner at every base. Joe White at third, Michael Ryan at second, and Blake Hill at first. The 0-1 pitch on the way from Cashman. It's hit on the ground towards second base. Waiting for it there is Massetti. He throws to first for the out. That ends the inning, so Milford leaves the bases loaded, but they do score 2 runs in the inning, and as we head to the 7th, it is now a 3-0 lead for Post 59 here on playoff coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. As expected, Kevin Martinez's day on the pitcher's mound is done. And a very good outing tonight for Kevin. He pitched the first 6 innings in this one. No runs allowed on just 2 hits. He did walk 4, but struck out 8. He stays in the game defensively at first base, and on to pitch now. As expected is David Sampson. We saw him warming earlier in the game. The hard-throwing righty on to protect what is now a 3-run lead. Milford grabbing 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, now up 3-0. David Sampson now making his 8th appearance of the year. 6 of those have come in relief. Carries with him a 2-0 record, a 1.56 ERA. In 9 innings pitched so far on the year, Sampson has allowed 8 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. He's hit a batter, he's walked 2 and struck out 8. He's faced a total of 38 batters and will now face batters 6, 7, and 8 in the Newburyport lineup. Newburyport, as you remember, had a runner thrown out at home plate that would have been the potential tying run back in the 6th inning. It's Colby Ingraham who leads off this top of the 7th. He's reached on an error and struck out. Both of those at bats against Kevin Martinez. Sampson now ready to deliver his first pitch. And it's a fastball that's in low for ball 1. Again, it's been a little while since we've seen David Sampson in a game. And since the end of the Wachusett series. Pitching an inning and a third back on the 22nd. He's misfired with the first 2 pitches. 2-0 count to Ingraham. Here's the pitch. And that one's in for a strike. Trying to keep all of these low in the zone against the starting center fielder for post 150. Here is the 2-1. It's tapped foul at the plate, and the count evens at 2-2. So we see our 2nd straight Bellingham High School product featured on the pitcher's mound. Sampson's 2-2 pitch, it misses outside. It gets off the glove of Michael Ryan. Started to give chase and then realized the bases were empty. The count now goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. We've already seen 4 walks from Milford pitching so far tonight. Here is the payoff pitch. It's hit on the ground towards second base. Waiting for it is Joe White. Slings it over to first base for the out. And Ingraham is retired 4-3. Hits have certainly been at a premium here tonight. Just 2 so far for post 150. Milford able to grab a couple of hits in the 6th inning. They're now up to 3 on the game. One out and the base is empty now for Pat Beaton. Shortstop is 0 for 2. Takes the first pitch for a called strike 1. Beaton grounded into a 4-6-3 double play back in the 2nd inning and grounded out to second base in the 4th. Sampson ready with the 0-1 pitch, and it drops in for a called strike 2. Milford so far tonight has left a total of 6 base runners. Newburyport has left 4. As now Beaton sprays that pitch foul off to the right, and the count stays 0-2. The fog in the outfield has now moved its way into center field. So walking in the mist now is Kevin Lynch. Here's the 0-2 pitch, sent foul to the backstop, and it remains 0-2. David Sampson, the big right-hander, into his windup. Here is the pitch. It's fouled away again, and Beaton trying to hang in there after dropping down in the count. It stays 0-2. Sampson staring over the glove towards Michael Ryan. Now delivers the pitch, and it drops in for a called strike 3. Beaton knew it right away. The first strikeout of the game for Sampson. It's the 9th K for Milford pitching. And that makes A combined strikeout total in this game so far of 20. A lot of Ks on the score sheet tonight. There's 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Now here's Ryan Kuchar, who takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. Kuchar tonight has walked and struck out. Sampson ready with another pitch, and this is low and away. Michael Ryan blocking that one to keep it out in front. The bases are empty here with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Sampson a long look in, he nods, rocks and fires. It's a called strike on the outside edge. 2-1 now the count. Newburyport has again registered a grand total of 2 hits on the night, as now this one is poked foul. Getting a double back in the 4th inning, a double in the 6th inning, but running into an out at home plate. That has kept them off the scoreboard to this point. Milford leading 3-0. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. The next pitch from Sampson just misses. Sampson had taken a step towards the dugout, expecting to see the strike 3 call. Takes a deep breath, steps off the back of the pitcher's mound to regain himself. He'll have to throw at least one more as the count has run full. 3-2. Here is the pitch, and it's hit foul. Sampson can sometimes wear his emotions on his sleeve. A very fiery individual out there on the mound, really displays that typical late inning reliever mentality. Here's another 3-2, and that misses outside for ball 4. And Sampson again doesn't like it. Gives Newburyport a 2-out base runner here. It's the 5th walk from Milford pitching. The first walk for Sampson, who will now have to deal with the number 9 hitter, Bob Barry. A called 3rd strike for Barry back in the 2nd inning. He grounded out to shortstop in his last at-bat. That came in inning number 5. Takes the first pitch strike here. 2 outs deep in the top of the 7th inning. As now Sampson wastes some time getting that runner to retreat back to first base. Kuchar able to work a 2-out walk after a couple of close pitches. Didn't go Sampson's way. Here is the 0-1. It's sent hard to the backstop, and Barry down in the count. Sampson looking to grab his 2nd strikeout of this inning to send us on to the bottom half of the frame. 0-2 the count with 2 outs. Here is the pitch. And a close one again, and this time Sampson gesturing with his hands raised towards the home plate umpire, wondering where these pitches are missing. You can see Coach DeVito seated atop a bucket along the sidelines with his head in his hands, just wondering where that outside corner is. Here's the 1-2 pitch, a defensive swing by Barry. He sends it to the backstop. Sampson very close on a number of pitches here. But that outside strike call has not been there for him. 1-2 the count. A quick check over on Kuchar before he comes to the plate. This is a ground ball up the middle, fielded by Mantoni. He shuffles the ball to second base with Joe White covering for the force out there that ends the inning. That last hop on that ball handcuffed Mantoni a bit, but he was able to get the flip to second base in time for the out that ends the inning. So we head on to the bottom of the 7th inning. 3-0 is the score. Milford has the lead here on coverage of the 2014 Legion State Tournament here in Massachusetts on WMRC First Class Radio. Well, after 6 innings out of the starting pitcher, Justin Cashman, his day on the mound is done. replaced now by Pat Slack. So Milford finally cracking into the Newburyport bullpen here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The top of the order coming to the plate. Matt Tessina leading it off, takes the first pitch for ball 1. 6 very good innings again out of Justin Cashman. He allowed 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Ended up allowing just 3 hits in the game. 2 of those came in the last inning. 3-0 now the count to Tessina. We did see 3 walks out of Cashman as part of that 6th inning after not allowing a single walk through the first 5, so certainly an indicator that he was starting to tire. But still, all things considered, a very good outing, especially given the offensive output that we've seen out of post 59 so far in this tournament. A wave and a miss from Tessina now fills the count at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Also 11 strikeouts in the game for Justin Cashman, so quite an outing. As Tessina now taps one back to the mound, fielded by Slack. He throws to first base to get the out. 1 up and 1 down. And now here comes Andrew McMillan. You wonder at this point if Coach DeVito is lining things up to possibly get 1 more inning out of David Sampson in relief before turning things over to Andrew McMillan, who has had closing duties this year. Has 3 saves on the season. It is a save situation if the score were to remain where it is now, all the way to the 9th, but still a long way to go in this one as we're in the bottom of the 7th. McMillan, meanwhile, loops a pitch out to left center field. That gets down for a base hit through the fog out there in left center. McMillan reaches for the 2nd time tonight, his first hit of the game. A 1-out base runner ahead of Dan Mantoni. Now 4 total hits for post 59, leading this game 3-0. And now here is Mantoni, who has a walk to his credit. He's also scored 2 runs in the game. Takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Andrew McMillan out to a lead at first. The righty reliever Slack comes to the plate. That pitch drops in for a strike, evening the count at 1-1. A lot of sweatshirts being worn out in the crowd now as the temperatures have steadily dropped as the game has gone along. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count after now seeing a pickoff move over at first base where McMillan was able to get back. The next pitch in tight again, 2-1 now. Into the middle of the Milford lineup. Mantoni up now, Martinez on deck. Another pickoff check at first base, and again diving back in safely is Andrew McMillan. Coming up on 10:30 in the evening as Mantoni takes another pitch up high. Jumping to his feet was Chasen. Looking McMillan back to first base as pitcher and catcher continue to pay close attention to the speed of Andrew McMillan. But meanwhile, the count has gone to 3-1 on the batter at the plate. As Mantoni now swings away, delivers a pitch foul towards his teammates along the third base line, and that fills the count. The set from Slack. The runner takes off. The pitch is inside for ball 4. They throw down to second base, but to no avail as it was ball 4 to Mantoni. So it's a free trip to second base for McMillan. For what it's worth, the throw looked like it was there in time. But regardless, runners at first and second base now for post 59, 1 out in the inning, and now here's Kevin Martinez. A hit and a walk allowed so far in a third of an inning out of Pat Slack, the first man out of the bullpen for Newburyport. That bullpen is quiet at the moment, as Kevin Martinez pokes the first pitch foul, just barely making contact. Kevin pitching the first 6 innings for post 59, now back at his post at first base. The 0-1 pitch, it's hit slowly up the middle. It gets past the pitcher. A tough play for the shortstop. Beaten, he throws to first and does get it there just in time to retire Martinez by a running step. Martinez, a smile on his face. He's not the fastest runner in this Milford lineup, hustling down the line, but despite the slow developing nature of that ground ball to the left side, a good throw from Beaten was able to beat the runner Martinez, and now there are 2 outs in the inning, runners at second and third. But an RBI chance for Joe White, who does have 2 runs batted in the game. One came on a fielder's choice in the 4th, the other on a single last inning. One ball and no strikes the count. And now 2-0, the pitch in the dirt, but held on to by Chasen. And a good job by Joe White of giving the clear signal to Andrew McMillan to hold up at third. Milford left the bases loaded last inning. They've stranded 6. And now a called strike brings the count to 2-1. An opportunity here to get some much needed insurance with still 2 innings left to go. And Newburyport demonstrating 24 hours ago on this field that no lead is insurmountable. They were trailing 7-1 in the 7th inning yesterday before mounting a furious comeback that resulted in a 9-7 win. Here's the 2-1 pitch. This is hit right back up the middle into the glove of the pitcher Slack. He fires it over to first base for the out that ends the inning. So Milford strands 2 more runners in scoring position. We have played 7 full innings from Feely Field, and it is a 3-0 lead for Milford over Newburyport here on playoff coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. As expected, David Sampson returns to the pitcher's mound for his 2nd inning of relief. He allowed a 2-out walk in the top of the 7th inning, but then ended the inning from there, had 1 strikeout. He will face batters 1, 2, and 3 in the Newburyport lineup. Here in the top of the 8th inning, it will be Tyler Chasen, Rosario Massetti, and Colton Fontaine, the 3 expected. And it should be interesting to see the exchange between Fontaine and Ryan when those 2 come together around the plate in a couple of batters. Meanwhile, the first pitch into Chasen is fouled away off to the left. Chasen 0 for 3 out of the leadoff spot. 2nd straight game we have seen the catcher as the leadoff hitter for Milford's opposition. Another foul ball from Chasen, and now down in the count, 0-2. Sampson shakes off the first sign. Now has one he likes. Here's the pitch. It's driven foul. Again out of play. This one down the left field line, but beyond the fence and off into the distance. 0-2 remains the count. Sampson the kick and the pitch. As that pitch misses a little bit high. And Sampson's a player that you would think maybe doesn't help his own cause out there with some of the body language he demonstrates towards the umpires. Results in not a lot of close calls going his way, but this time a beautiful pitch dealt in on the inside edge that goes as a called strike 3. That's the second strikeout for Sampson. And it's the third time in the game that Chasen has gone down by way of the K. And now here is Rosario Mazzetti, the second baseman. Also 0 for on the night. "11 strikeouts now in total, or excuse me, 10 strikeouts total on the day for Milford pitching. 8 from Martinez and now 2 from Sampson. The first pitch misses into Mazzetti. Now 2 balls and no strikes the count. Sampson a look in. And now ready with the offering. Here it is. It's hit on the line down the third base line, but a foul ball, and now a 2-ball and 1 strike count to Rosario Mazzetti. Listed at an even 6 feet tall, 183 pounds. Another recent graduate from St. John's Prep. Makes his home here in Newburyport. Well, not here in Newburyport, but in the town of Newburyport, which is the home location of Post 150. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count now. And another pitch on the way from Sampson. Hit on the ground towards second base. There is Joe White. A good throw to first base. 2 up and 2 down here in the 8th. Newburyport now down to their last 4 outs. 2 outs and the base is empty, and here is Colton Fontaine. One of the big plays in this game, Fontaine electing to come around to try to score on the double hit by Dan Rose back in the 6th inning. He was thrown out by a mile at the plate. Had a hard collision with Michael Ryan that Ryan took exception to. Starts off down in the count, 0-1. Now the count evens at a ball and a strike. Fontaine setting up with the bat high up above his head. He hits a ball on the ground up the middle. Ranging over behind the second base bag was Mantoni, but it hits off the heel of his glove and he cannot make a throw. Mantoni ended up all the way to the second base side of the bag, covering a ton of ground. There's really no way to think that play was routine for Mantoni, so that'll be an infield single for Fontaine. But it does give Newburyport a bit of life here in the 8th inning, a chance for Dan Rose to come to the plate, who had probably the hardest hit ball of this game. Really no probably about it. That double back in the 6th inning could have set up a situation with runners at second and third with 1 out for Newburyport had Fontaine not been thrown out trying to score. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. David Sampson trying to get through this inning. He's allowed his first hit to the last batter. Fontaine now at first base. Here's the 1-1. It's popped up in the air and foul ground down the right field line, giving chases Cam Cosette, but that one nowhere near the field to play. And 1-2 is the count. Sampson 1 strike away from sending us on to the bottom of the 8th. 1 ball and 2 strikes with Fontaine leading off of first base. He bluffs. The pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3, and the inning is over. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 3 in all for David Sampson. And on to the bottom of the 8th we go. Still a 3-0 lead for Milford here on playoff coverage on WMRC First Class Radio. 3 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error for Post 59. No runs, 3 hits, 3 errors for Newburyport Post 150 as we head into action here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Michael Ryan, Cam Cosette, the first 2 batters coming up. And it would be technically the pitcher's spot that would be due up third in this inning, so we'll see if David Sampson takes the at-bat. Nothing in one the count to start things off to Michael Ryan. Pat Slack in his second inning of relief gets a ground ball to the right side, fielded by the second baseman Vasidi, on to first for the out. 4-3 on the grounder. As now Cam Cosette comes to the batter's box. David Sampson does have a helmet on, bat in hand as he comes out into the on-deck circle. So he will at least take an at-bat here in the 8th inning. We'll see if he comes on for the 9th in his 3rd inning of work. He's pitched 2 scoreless frames of relief to this point. In line to get the win right now is Kevin Martinez with 3 outs still to go. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on Cam Cosette, who has struck out twice and reached on an error. Now lifts a pitch out into shallow right center field, dropping fast, a dive for Bob Barry. Does he make the catch? Yes, he does. A nice catch out there in right field by Bob Barry. Coming in hard, going into the dive, obscured partially by the mist in the outfield. But makes a nice catch for the second out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 retired, and now here is David Sampson. We have not seen a whole lot offensively out of David Sampson in the latter part of this season. Takes a big swing and a miss, and he's quickly down 0-2. Sampson last took an at-bat back on the 22nd, making 1 pinch hitting appearance as he was out in relief in the final game of the Wachusett series. Hits a ground ball over to shortstop. The play made by Beaton. The good throw to first base. It's a 1-2-3 inning and a couple of good innings of relief out of Pat Slack. So that will send us on to the 9th inning. Milford 3 outs away from becoming the final unbeaten team in this state tournament. We'll see if they can close out the deal when we return here on playoff coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. It is David Sampson back to the pitcher's mound for his 3rd inning of relief, a save situation. If Sampson can collect the final 3 outs here in the 9th inning, he will face batters 5, 6, and 7 in the Newburyport order. It is Cam Toohey, Colby Ingraham, and Pat Beaton, the 3 batters that are expected to come to the plate. This game was scoreless until the 4th inning when Milford was finally able to break through for a run. They grabbed 2 more in the 6th inning, but that has been all. Very little offense to speak of in this game. A total of 3 runs and a total of 7 hits combined. One thing that has been plentiful in this game has been strikeouts, 11 on the Newburyport side. All of those credited to Justin Cashman, Kevin Martinez, and David Sampson combining for 10 strikeouts. As Sampson now gets ready to deal with Cam Toohey, who takes the first pitch for strike 1. More cheering from the Milford fans and the Milford bench players, hoping to see a 3rd straight win in this tournament. Sampson backing off the pitching rubber before delivering an 0-1 pitch into Toohey. Into his windup now, here is the 0-1, and it's swung on and missed. It pops in and out of the glove of Michael Ryan, but the count goes to 0-2. Cam Toohey, a ground out, 1-3 in the 1st inning, a double in the 4th inning, and a strikeout swinging in the 6th. Only 3 hits in total so far for Newburyport, and 2 of them have gone for extra bases. Here's the 0-2 pitch. In there for a called strike 3. This time Sampson gets the call on the outside edge. That's now 3 strikeouts for Sampson. The first man retired here in the top of the 9th. Down to the final 2 outs for Newburyport, with Ingraham coming to the plate. Here's the pitch, and it bounces in for ball 1. Ingraham 0 for 3. He did reach on an error in his first at bat, then struck out and grounded out. Michael Ryan and David Sampson making sure they stay on the same page here with a 1-0 count. The base is empty and 1 out in the inning. Just a quick few words exchanged. Sampson now nods his approval to the sign. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's chopped on the ground to the right side. Joe White makes the play. The underhand toss to first base, and 2 outs are recorded here in the 9th inning. Milford 1 out away from victory. And the next man to come to the plate is Pat Beaton, who's had a rough day at the plate. Bounced into a double play. He's grounded out and struck out. Again, no team will be eliminated as a result of this game. The loser will go on to play Greenfield at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. The winner will have a date with Kingston in another night game. A quick 2 strikes on Pat Beaton, and Sampson is just 1 strike away from ending this game. No balls and 2 strikes the count. The bases are empty here in the top of the 9th inning, with Milford leading by a score of 3-0. Sampson stares in for the sign. He has it. The windup. Here's the pitch, and it's in there for a called strike 3, and the ball game is over. A nice 1-2-3. Top of the 9th inning for Sampson, who goes 3 innings to get the save and receives some raucous cheers and even partially lifted in the air by his teammates. Pumped up by this win, in Milford is the last team with a perfect record in this state tournament. Their 3rd straight win, a much closer ball game here tonight, but a good result nonetheless. 3-0 the win for Post 59.